Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel TechDataEngineer. So in this video we will see reading data from CSP with different additional options. Okay, so like we have multiple options in data source. We can connect with the Parquet, we can connect by the CSP, we can directly connect with JDBC, any database or any Parquet file, Avro file. So today we will see specific to CSP file how we are reading the data, how we are creating the Spark session before reading the data, how we are utilizing the Spark.read CSP method, and with additional options like how we are passing delimiters, infer schemas, and all. Okay, so first for that to read a CSP file into a data frame, especially for CSP, we are using the spark.read CSP method. Okay, so similar for reading the data from CSP, we have a spark.read CSP. For writing the data, we have a spark.write CSP. So this method we are using. So before reading or writing any file, what we have to do, we have to create a Spark session. Okay, so first we will create a Spark session, and then what we will do, we'll read the CSV file. So this CSV file will be anywhere in your HDFS or in your local file system. So that path you need to provide, and you need to pass under the functions called spark.read CSV. Okay, so for that we have like our code. We have what we will do, we will first import Pyspark, then from Pyspark.sql we will import the Spark session. Then we will create a spark session dot builder dot app name, whatever the app we can give, any name we can give, and get or create. If it is already there Spark session, it will throw that it's a Spark session is there. If it is not, it will create. Then what we will do, we will create a data frame called df. We will write spark dot read csp method, because we have created the Spark object, session object. So and from that we will call a spark dot read csp. Then we'll pass the Python file. So suppose this Python file is in your local C directory or any drive, so you can give C drive, D drive, any drive, so you can give the path. Okay, and then header equals to true, infer schema equals to true. So these two options we will see why we are passing header equals to true, header equals to false, infer schema true, what and false. Okay, what do you mean by that? And then after passing the file path, suppose you wanted to get the display the data on console, then we'll write df dot show. You can pass any value also. Suppose 5 row you want, you can give 5, 10, something like that. And df dot print schema. Okay, for printing the schema is like whatever the like fields and their you can data type and all. So for printing the schema, suppose we have to fill name and id. So name is like a varchar or string, and id is like integer. So like that, what is the data type and all, for that we are passing the print schema basically. Okay, and then reading the CSV. So we have a spark dot read CSV method, which we have already discussed, and then local file path. This is the file path where your CSV file resides. Then header equals to true and infer schema true. So why we are passing header equals to true? Header equals to true, basically we are passing that tells a Spark that first row of the file contains column name. Suppose your file one has CSV file, and the file for first row we have suppose name and column. Okay, instead of the actual row, instead of the actual value, first row have column. So that you need to specify to your Spark that okay, that is the first row is the header. So that's why we are passing header equals to true. So in your actual file, if you want to display the name, so you will pass header equals to true. It will take first row and it will display as a you can say column name. And infer schema equals to true, that automatically infer to the data type of the column. What I told, like suppose you have data type like name, that is a string. So automatically it will infer to the string and string type, and your id is like integer, so it will infer to the integer. So this is basically infer schema equals to true, based on your can say data type, it will automatically infer the data type for the specific column. Okay, and now the point comes to additional options. Apart from this header equals to true, infer schema equals to true, what are the other options we have? Other options like passing the multiple CSP, passing the delimiter and all, so we will see that. Okay, so we can customize our reading and writing. So first is we can see the delimiter. To specify a different delimiter, suppose we have tab, or we have separation, we have pipe, or we have commas and all. So they have multiple way we have. So suppose we wanted to separate our column name with the help of tab or some column, then we will pass like spark.read options. Under options parameter we will pass separation, and then we can pass the value. Here in separation we can pass that comma also, pipe also. That again CSV file path, header equals to infer schema equals to true. So we can pass the multiple options, the spark.read option, then multiple we can pass other options also. One is the delimiter. Okay, so we have seen that one is the delimiter, other is the infer schema, and third one is the header equals to 2. So why we are doing header equals to 2? Because of first column, first row would be the column name, that's why header equals to 2. We directly wanted infer the data type based on the column name, that's why we are making the infer schema is equals to 2. Suppose we have any separator in your file, we wanted to give any separator, we are using the separator as a particular delimiters, whatever we wanted to pass, we can pass that. Okay, and schema. So coming to schema, if you wanted to define a schema explicitly, suppose you don't have any schema and data, and so multiple fields are there, or any nested schema is there, so you can create your schema also. For creating the schema, from pyspark.sql you have to import a struct type and a struct field. A struct type, under that we can create a struct field. A struct field basically a column name. Suppose we have a struct field as a name ACT. So name is a, for name we have to create a different struct field, a struct field for age and a struct field for city. So each column we have to create a different struct field, and each combined will create a struct type. Okay, and after in a struct field, what are the parameter we have to pass? First would be the column name, other would be their type. So this, suppose name is the string type, we have to pass a string. Age would be for integer type, we can pass the integer type, and then third parameter we can pass true or false. Okay, so this is the way we can create the schema. Then we'll pass spark.read schema, then under that we'll pass schema and .csv path. Suppose we have already csv and a schema is not defined, or you wanted to build your own schema based on your data type or name, so you can create and then you can map with the data frame. Then again come to the mode. So suppose you are reading or writing data, so which mode you are writing or reading the data? It's append mode, or drop drop malformed, or promising, or fall fast. So whatever the mode, to handle the corrupt record. Suppose if you are reading the database and they have a good and bad record, so if you wanted to discard that, so based on that you have to choose the mode, and you can just get that data only, you can discard the bad data. Okay, so for that we are like choosing the options as a mode. Okay, so this is the things we are writing a spark read options mode equals to drop malform, because if malicious things are there then it will drop, and under the csv file we will pass the csv local file path, and then header equals to true, infer schema equals to true, we can pass that. Okay, so we have seen one is the mode, other is the schema. Mode is basically to handle the bad and good data. Schema is basically if you wanted to design your own schema for your table and based on your data type, then we from this Spark.sql we can import a struct type, a struct field, and based on that you can create your own schema. Then third would be the delimiter. If while reading the data, if there is some separator, then you can use under options as a delimiter. Then other option is the infer schema, which automatically infer the data type of the column, that's why we are using infer schema. And header is basically first row of the file contains column, and they are passing the we are passing header equals to true, and then that all we are passing under spark.read csp under options, and under options we are passing all this parameter. Okay, def dot so basically for showing the data, and print schema for printing the schema after creation of schema and all. If you wanted to see the data type and all, we can do the print schema. Okay, thank you, thanks for watching.